Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Dear brothers and sisters, among the countless wonders of Allah's creation, there exists a creature so gentle, so peaceful, and so graceful that it has lived beside human beings for centuries without ever uttering a word. And yet, through its silence, it speaks volumes. We are talking about the cat. But have we ever asked ourselves, why did Allah create cats? Why do they bring so much peace into our hearts? Is there something deeper, something spiritual about the presence of a cat in our home? This isn't just a casual question. It is a door to divine wisdom. Today we will explore this door and walk through it together, using the light of the Quran and the beautiful Sunnah of our beloved Prophet Muhammad. Peace and blessings upon him. You may already love cats, or maybe you've been considering keeping one. But by the end of this video, you'll understand that loving a cat is not just an emotional preference, it is a path to spiritual growth, mercy, and even reward in the sight of Allah, the glorious and majestic. Chapter 1. Every creation has a divine purpose. The Quran says, "And we did not create the heavens and the earth and everything between them aimlessly." That is the assumption of those who disbelieve. Surah Sad. This is our foundation. Everything that Allah has created is filled with purpose, even if that purpose is hidden to our limited understanding. Whether it's the movement of the stars, the falling of a single leaf, or the soft purring of a cat, nothing is without meaning in the divine system. Allah says in Surah An-Nahl, "And He created the grazing livestock for you. In them is warmth and numerous benefits, and from them you eat." Surah An-Nahl. Though this verse speaks about livestock, it reveals a broader truth. Animals are created by Allah not just for physical use, but also for emotional, psychological, and spiritual benefit. Cats may not provide us with milk or meat, but what they do provide is peace, comfort, and companionship. Something that touches our soul in a world full of stress and loneliness. Chapter 2. Cats in the life of the Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings upon him. Let us go back more than 1400 years and step into the home of the most beloved man to walk the earth, Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings upon him. Among the creatures that lived in his household was a small cat, affectionately known as Muesa. One day it is narrated the Prophet, peace and blessings upon him, was making wudu, ablution, and preparing for prayer. As he reached for his robe, he noticed that Muesa was sleeping peacefully on one of its sleeves. What did he do? Did he disturb her? Did he push her away? Number with the gentlest heart, the Prophet, peace and blessings upon him, took a knife and cut off the sleeve of his robe, so that Muesa would not be disturbed. This isn't just a beautiful story, it's a reflection of how deeply mercy runs through our faith. The Prophet, peace and blessings upon him, was sent as a mercy to all creation. And we have not sent you, O Muhammad, except as a mercy to the worlds. Surah Al-Anbiya. If he showed this level of care to a cat, what excuse do we have for showing harshness? Chapter 3. Cats are not najis, impure. In Islam, cleanliness and purity are central to everything, from prayer to lifestyle. So it's natural that some people might wonder, can we keep cats in the house and still remain pure? Let's clear this up with the hadith of Abu Qatada. The Prophet, peace and blessings upon him, said about cats, "They are not impure, they are among those who go around among you." Sunan Abu Dawud, Hadith 75. This hadith proves two things. Cats are not spiritually impure. They are so close to us in life that Allah made allowances for them in our Sharia. This is why many scholars, including those from the Hanafi, Maliki, and Shafi'i schools, agree that you can perform salah in clothes that a cat has touched, or drink water from a bowl that a cat has drunk from. This ruling is not just legal, it's loving. It shows the gentle flexibility of Islam, especially regarding creatures that live closely with us. Chapter 4. A serious warning from the Prophet, peace and blessings upon him. While we discuss the beauty and kindness of keeping cats, we must also reflect on the consequences of neglect and cruelty. In one authentic narration, the Prophet, peace and blessings upon him, said, "A woman was punished in hell because of a cat. She imprisoned it until it died. She neither fed it nor let it free to eat from the insects of the earth." Sahih Muslim. Let that sink in. This was not a murder. This was not theft. This was neglect of an innocent, helpless animal. And it was enough to earn Allah's punishment. If neglect can bring punishment, then surely kindness can bring reward. Chapter 5. The emotional and spiritual rewards of keeping a cat. In the next section, we will discuss how caring for a cat brings barakah, blessing, into your home. The emotional healing that comes with pet companionship. How every act of kindness toward a cat is recorded by Allah. Stories from real people and scholars about the joy cats bring into their homes and the hidden spiritual secrets cats carry with them. Chapter 5. The barakah, blessing, of keeping a cat at home. When we talk about barakah, we usually think of wealth, food, or time. But did you know that the presence of a cat can be a source of barakah? A home where kindness is shown becomes a home where angels feel welcome. The Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings upon him, said, "Mercy is not removed except from the miserable ones." Abu Dawud. When you show mercy to a cat, feeding it, comforting it, caring for it, you are inviting mercy into your home. And wherever there is mercy, there is barakah. Many pious scholars from the past believe that animals, especially cats, carry with them a kind of ruhani, spiritual energy, that cleanses the atmosphere of the home. Their peaceful nature, their quiet movements, and even their act of curling beside you in rest can soften hearts and still the soul. Barakah isn't only found in the things we can count. Sometimes it's found in the calm you feel when you walk into your home and hear a cat purring softly nearby. That's a peace only Allah can give. Chapter 6. Emotional healing through Allah's creation. In our modern world, anxiety and depression are growing at a rapid pace. People feel overwhelmed, tired, and often alone. But did you know that cats have been shown, scientifically, to help reduce stress, lower blood pressure, and bring emotional calm? Let's go deeper than science. As Muslims, we believe, "And when I am ill, it is He who cures me." Surah Ash-Shu'ara. The cure does not always come from medicine. Sometimes the cure comes in the form of a companion sent by Allah with no words, no advice, just presence. A cat doesn't speak, but it listens with its eyes. It doesn't offer answers, but it offers comfort. That's not coincidence. That's a divine gift. Some people find that their cat senses when they are sad and will sit beside them or rest its head on their lap. That's Allah reminding you, you are not alone. Chapter 7. The daily deeds that bring you closer to Jannah. Feeding a hungry cat, refilling its water bowl, petting it with affection, making sure it's safe from harm. These are small actions, but with Allah, nothing small goes unnoticed. The Prophet, peace and blessings upon him, said, "Every act of kindness to a living being is sadaqah, charity." Sahih Bukhari. You don't need wealth to give charity. Sometimes your care for a small creature is charity enough. It's written, it's rewarded, it's remembered. And on the day of judgment, when we will all be desperate for good deeds, even a cup of water for a thirsty cat could be the reason Allah forgives us. There's a well-known story the Prophet, peace and blessings upon him, told of a man who saw a thirsty dog panting near a well. The man filled his shoe with water and gave it to the dog. The Prophet, peace and blessings upon him, said, "Allah forgave him because of that act." Sahih Muslim. Now ask yourself, if a man was forgiven for a dog, what reward could be waiting for you when you serve a cat, a creature beloved by the Prophet himself? Chapter 8. Lessons hidden in the behavior of a cat. Allah tells us, "Indeed, in the creation of the heavens and the earth, and in the alternation of night and day, are signs for people of reason." Surah Al-Imran. Let's reflect for a moment on the way cats behave and what they teach us. 1. Cleanliness, tahara. Cats clean themselves constantly, multiple times a day. Islam teaches that cleanliness is not just physical, it's half of our faith. Purity is half of faith. Sahih Muslim. Watching a cat groom itself is a gentle reminder for us to stay clean, not only in body, but also in heart and soul. 2. Contentment, qana'ah. Cats are not greedy. They eat what is given and rest when their needs are met. They don't worry about tomorrow. As Muslims, we are taught to live in tawakkul, reliance on Allah. A cat teaches you to trust your sustenance will come, be calm with what you have, avoid chasing things that do not belong to you. 3. mindfulness, and stillness. Cats observe. They move with intention. They don't rush. Sometimes we are so caught up in the speed of life, we forget to be still, to be present, to reflect. Cats remind us, slow down, sit in silence, watch, breathe, listen. 4. Balance between independence and love. Cats are not always clingy, but they are not cold either. They live with a perfect balance, independent yet loving. This balance is something we are taught in Islam. Love your family, but don't depend entirely on them. Serve the world, but stay connected to Allah. Be soft, but don't be weak. Be firm, but don't be harsh. The behavior of a cat is a beautiful reflection of this balance. So far, we've explored the mercy, beauty, and wisdom Allah has placed in the creation of cats. But this journey doesn't end here. In the next part of this script, we will go even deeper. The story of Abu Huraira and why cats were so close to him. Why the Prophet, peace and blessings upon him, allowed cats inside the masjid. How cats are mirrors of emotional intelligence. The link between cats and the angels in Islamic tradition. Final thoughts on what it really means to bring a cat into your life. Chapter 9. Abu Huraira, the companion of cats. Let's journey into the golden days of Islam, the time of the companions, when the light of revelation was still fresh on the earth. One of the most beloved Sahaba of the Prophet, peace and blessings upon him, was a man named Abdurrahman ibn Sakhr ad-Dawsi, but few know him by this name. He is famously known as Abu Huraira, which literally means father of the kitten. Why was he given such a name? Because everywhere he went, he carried with him a small kitten. It nestled in his sleeve, climbed on his shoulder, and followed him gently like a shadow. He loved cats so much that the Prophet, peace and blessings upon him, lovingly gave him the nickname Abu Huraira, and the name became more well-known than his real one. This story tells us something profound. In a time where people were honored for their bravery, knowledge, and leadership, Abu Huraira was honored for his kindness to a cat. Subhanallah. If the Prophet, peace and blessings upon him, saw fit to highlight and embrace such compassion, then we too should not overlook the small acts of mercy we show to animals. Chapter 10. Cats in the Masjid, a sign of acceptance. In our time, many masjids have strict cleanliness rules, and rightly so. The house of Allah must remain clean, pure, and dignified. But have you ever wondered, did animals ever enter the masjid during the Prophet's time? The answer is yes, especially cats. Cats were not shooed away or considered disruptive. They roamed freely in the Prophet's masjid in Medina. This tells us something deeper. The Prophet, peace and blessings upon him, never viewed the presence of cats as something impure or offensive to the sanctity of prayer. In fact, scholars note that if a cat drinks from your water, you may still use that water for wudu. This is based on the Hadith. They, cats, are not impure. They are among those who go around among you. Sunan Abu Dawud 75. This Hadith proves their purity and their acceptance even in sacred spaces. So imagine the blessing of having such a pure creature in your home. A cat's presence, if nurtured with mercy, can spiritually cleanse your home. Their silent companionship becomes part of the spiritual atmosphere of the family. Chapter 11. Do cats sense angels? There's a beautiful tradition, though not found in the major Sahih books, that many scholars and Sufis have discussed for centuries: the spiritual sensitivity of animals. Though no authentic hadith explicitly states that cats can see angels, many scholars have commented on how certain animals react to the unseen. Their alertness, sudden gaze at empty spaces, or behavior around death and prayer has left generations of Muslims reflecting on their hidden connection to the spiritual world. We know from authentic narrations that when you hear the crowing of a rooster, ask Allah for His bounty because it has seen an angel. Sahih Bukhari. If Allah has given the rooster the ability to recognize an angel, then is it hard to imagine that cats may also be spiritually sensitive? Some scholars believe that when a cat curls next to you during your salah, it may be sensing the calmness of the angels around you. Others say that when cats suddenly meow during dhikr or the Quran, they are reacting to what they feel but cannot speak. Though we cannot know with certainty, what we do know is this. Animals, like all creation, are in constant remembrance of Allah. Do you not see that Allah is exalted by whomever is within the heavens and the earth, and the birds with wings spread? Each one knows its own way of prayer and glorification. Surah An-Nur. Even if we can't hear it, cats are part of that symphony of remembrance. Their presence is a reminder that the world is alive with tasbih, glorification of Allah. Chapter 12. Cats are emotional mirrors. A cat may be small, but it carries the emotional intelligence of a mature heart. They know when you are sad. They walk away when you need silence. They curl up beside you when you are lonely. And in that silent companionship, we are reminded of Allah's names, Al-Latif, the subtle, the gentle, and Ar-Raqib, the watchful one. Have you ever sat crying quietly and your cat came to sit by your feet? That's not just coincidence. That is a rahmah, mercy, from your Lord. Allah says, "And we have certainly created man, and we know what his soul whispers to him, and we are closer to him than his jugular vein." Surah Qaf. Allah knows when you are hurting, and sometimes instead of sending you a person, he sends you a creature, a silent friend, to sit with you in that moment of need. And that creature is a cat. Chapter 13. Preview. Coming next. Responsibility, rewards, and final reflections. In the next and final section of this script, we will cover the ethical responsibility of keeping a cat, how cats teach us gratitude and routine, why small acts of daily care are spiritually powerful, final reflections on what it means to love what Allah has created. Chapter 13. The responsibility of keeping a cat. In Islam, rights are sacred, and animals too have rights upon us. If you choose to keep a cat, remember, it is not just a pet, it is a trust, amanah, given to you by Allah. The Prophet, peace and blessings upon him, said, "Each of you is a shepherd, and each of you is responsible for his flock." Sahih Bukhari, 893. This includes your family, your wealth, your time, and yes, even the animals under your care. Too often, people adopt cats for entertainment and abandon them when it gets inconvenient. But this is a betrayal of trust. Feeding your cat is a daily act of worship. Cleaning after your cat is a spiritual duty. Protecting your cat from harm is a path to reward. Just like any living being, a cat feels hunger, thirst, fear, and love. Fulfilling those needs is your obligation, not your favor. Chapter 14. Structure, gratitude, and spiritual growth. You might not realize it, but cats also help us grow in subtle ways. They bring structure to your day. They wake you up for fajr. They meow when it's time for food. They rest beside you when you read Quran. All of this brings balance and awareness into your home. In fact, the small habits you develop from caring for a cat, such as waking early, maintaining cleanliness, showing daily gratitude, pausing for reflection, all contribute to your spiritual discipline. And isn't that what Islam is really about? Small, consistent actions, done with love, with mercy, with intention. The Prophet, peace and blessings upon him, said, "The most beloved of deeds to Allah are those that are consistent, even if they are small." Sahih Bukhari. So never underestimate the reward of pouring clean water into a bowl or covering your cat with a blanket on a cold night. These are not chores. These are opportunities, each one a chance to connect with your Creator. Chapter 15. Loving what Allah has made. There is a hadith that says, "Allah is beautiful and loves beauty." Sahih Muslim 91. Look at a cat, the design of its fur, the gentleness in its eyes, the grace in its steps. There is beauty in every detail. When you admire a cat, you are indirectly admiring the craftsmanship of Allah. Islam teaches us to reflect upon Allah's creation, not just the stars and mountains, but the small, quiet signs as well. And on the earth are signs for the certain in faith and in yourselves. Then will you not see? Surah Ad-Dariyat. So take a moment. Watch how your cat walks, how it responds to kindness, how it finds comfort in silence. These are signs of softness, of mercy, of presence. And through these signs, you grow closer to Al-Khaliq, the Creator. Let's summarize what we've learned in this journey. Cats are pure in Islam and can live with us without affecting our acts of worship. The Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings upon him, showed kindness to cats and even kept one in his home. Mistreating cats is a serious sin that can lead to punishment in the hereafter. Taking care of a cat brings barakah, emotional peace, and spiritual reward. Cats teach us mindfulness, patience, cleanliness, and gratitude. Every act of mercy to a cat is recorded by Allah and can become a means of forgiveness. Final dua, a prayer for mercy and barakah. Let's end with a heartfelt dua. Ya Allah, soften our hearts with the light of your mercy. Help us love and care for all your creations, big and small. Allow us to follow the example of your beloved Prophet, peace and blessings upon him, in kindness and compassion. Grant us the ability to be gentle, responsible, and grateful. And may the presence of every innocent creature in our lives remind us of your Rahmah. Fill our homes with peace, our hearts with love, and our deeds with sincerity. Ameen. So, why did Allah create cats? He created them as a reflection of His mercy, as a comfort for our hearts, as a test of our kindness, and as a bridge to His reward. They are not just animals. They are small signs of the divine. If you already have a cat, cherish that blessing. If you are considering it, make your intention pure. And if you simply admire them from afar, let their grace and beauty remind you that Allah's signs are everywhere, sometimes even curled up at your feet. And remember, every act of love done for the sake of Allah, no matter how small, can open the door to Jannah.